So this amendment is the Taxpayer Data Protection Act, which increases criminal penalties for unauthorized disclosure of taxpayer information. It will increase the maximum penalty from $5,000 fine or 5 years in jail time to a $250,000 fine or 10 years jail time. This will seem familiar to many members of this committee because, in fact, this amendment is the exact same bill that the other Chairman Smith offered last Congress. Now, as we've heard here today, we're not really sure what Mr. Musk and his team are doing yet, but many of us are concerned about the possible unauthorized disclosure of taxpayer information. As mentioned, my amendment will increase the criminal penalties for such unauthorized disclosure. Let me quote from our esteemed Chairman, Jason Smith, from September 17, 2024, press release stating, quote, "Increasing the punishment for this crime will result in better deterrence for potential criminals and fewer crimes of this sort being committed," close quote. When Chairman Smith marked up this exact same bill on May 15th of 2024, he said the following, and I quote him 100%, quote, "The bill before us today, sponsored by every Republican member on this committee, helps ensure bad actors are prevented from stealing and disclosing taxpayer information. Americans file their tax returns every year with the expectation that their data and personal tax information are protected and secure from unlawful disclosure," close quote. He further stated, quote, "It's up to the members of the Chief Tax Writing Committee in Congress to protect the public trust and to secure private taxpayer information." Again, in Chairman Smith's words, I urge all my colleagues to support this legislation and send a clear message that Congress will not tolerate criminal leaks of taxpayer information, close quote. In fact, Chairman Jason Smith was incredibly persuasive, as not only every Republican, but every Democrat save one on this committee voted in favor of the bill, and it was unanimously supported on the House floor. I further want to request that Chairman Smith and the Republican members of this committee, as well as my Democratic colleagues, all co-sign a letter with me that mimics the exact language from Chairman Smith to Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration on February 16, 2023. Quote, this is from Chairman Smith, and I'm going to be mimicking the exact same language, and I would like everybody to please join me. I request that the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration commit in writing that it will complete the following actions. 1, conduct a comprehensive and timely investigation. 2, produce a report that summarizes their investigation with findings and recommendations. 3, provide me with a full copy of the unredacted report. 4, make as much of the report public as possible, consistent with 26 U.S.C. Section 6103. Until an investigation and report are complete, I request that the Taxpayer Inspector General for Tax Administration provide designated members of my staff with regular updates about the status of the investigation, close quote. Mr. Chairman, I would argue that my amendment that's been supported by you, Mr. Chairman, as well as Chairman Smith, Ranking Member Neal, and dozens of members of this committee is in fact germane, because violations of taxpayer privacy throw into question the entire safety of our tax collection and refund system, which is the point of this bill, refunds that are made to taxpayers and whether or not they're being stolen, as Ms. Malliotakis and Ms. Sewell have made clear in their excellent bill. Taxpayers cannot trust their refunds, such as those referenced in the Malliotakis-Sewell bill, or the entire IRS system if their private data has been compromised by unauthorized access. Therefore, we must impose penalties appropriate to ensure taxpayer data privacy, as has been supported by this committee and Chairman Jason Smith on a previous occasion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Buchanan is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I insist on my point of order. The amendment is not germane.
So can we debate that?
Does the gentleman wish to be heard on the point of order?
Yes, I do.
Gentleman is recognized.
So the bill that's before us right now by members Malliotakis and Sewell are about refunds from the IRS and those checks being stolen. And it requires that people, when getting their refunds and when having them sent to them, can trust the IRS that it's in fact doing things properly. And it'd be hard if someone's, for example, bank data had been compromised by an unauthorized use of that bank data, to trust that their bank account's not being manipulated when they get a direct deposit to their bank account for a refund sent to them, for example. There are many other examples that we could enumerate, but I think that this is clearly germane because it goes to the credibility of the IRS and the release of people's private data. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. I am prepared to rule the amendment is not germane to